Hi everyone, welcome back. Nicole here with Edge of Wild, and I'm in the backyard by the garden, and I'm going to explain this fun looking project going on here. So, I knew that when we moved in, I wanted to put in and establish fruit beds or fruit trees, permanent stuff. Problem is, unless you really know what you're gonna how you're gonna set up in the feng shui of everything, it's really hard to pick a spot because you're like, this is permanent. So I put off picking a spot. I had kind of picked out a spot. It was farther from the house. We have a ton of deer and wildlife. I don't think that was gonna work, so I changed my mind on that. Then I kind of had a thought for somewhere else. Plans changed on that as well. I was going to try to use the existing goat, more or less like dry lot yard, but that would involve building a barn, and that's not quite top of the priority list right now, so the goats are going to continue to stay in their little goat shed, so I'm not going to try to put stuff in there. And I don't want to wait until the barn is built at this point to establish fruit beds in there. I'd love to do raspberries. I know the deer would eat the raspberries, and I want them kind of contained. So right now I have raspberries in one of the flower beds, just enough to pick and have as a treat. So good enough for now. There's a place really close to here that they have you pick raspberries and blueberries and apples and a whole bunch of things. They're awesome. They're totally worth going to. So I'm happy to take the kids there as an adventure if I get to a point where I want a large amount. Blueberries, however, I do know I want those here because I love blueberries. I think I had figured out there was one year I went through, couldn't have been that much. Must have been 3 or 4 gallons at least of blueberries. It was a lot. It might have even been more than that. I want to say it was 16 of the bags, which should equal out to be about 4 gallons because they're quart bags, the frozen ones, because that's what we do with my parents' blueberries. So I decided this strip along the garden here would work great. 2 reasons. 1, close to the house, that way hopefully the deer don't bother it, and 2, I have to put netting up because the robins are mean and rude and they take everything. So, if I use here, then I should be able to put the netting up using that fence and then put a couple posts in. So what we're doing is putting in blueberries. So, steps I've taken so far, I will walk you through. Because as you can see, we're pretty far along. We're actually at planting stage. So my husband had some road fabric. What we did was measured out the width of the bed that we wanted, cut road fabric, covered the lawn that was here. Everything's pretty well dead under there. Water barely gets through that, so we'll see how that works with the blueberries. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but you never know. Then we got a hold of a local tree company and asked when they had the availability if they could drop off chips, and they did. My husband's helped me move chips out here. He's done 95% of the work moving all the chips out here. Went through edge of the bed, cut all the sod away. Still need to empty the rest that's in the wheelbarrow, and have been pulling the chips down. So now my plan is, because these chips are fresh, and I think they'd be way too hot, not hot as in heat, but hot as in fresh, for the blueberry plants to be next to them. So I got bagged mulch, and I'm going to measure out. I have 7 blueberry bushes to put in. We're going to measure them out. Going to move all the chips away from there, cut the hole. I think we're going to use the power planter to drill the holes, plant the blueberry bush, put some soil acidifier in there because they like acidic soil, and then put the mulch right around just the blueberry plant, and then go from there. I have water. If it gets to be a really dry summer, I can have my husband, because I don't know how to, but I can have my husband tap onto the water with a line and then we can run drip emitters to them. It'll be great. So I have one Patriot variety. So one Patriot variety. This is a really sturdy, healthy looking bush. So I'm excited about this one. That was our most expensive one. And then the other ones, because I got that one from like a, not local to up here, but an actual nursery, family owned nursery, out of Oswego. And then these ones we picked up just from the box store. And I have the Sweetheart, so blueberry Sweetheart, which are supposed to have big berries. And then the other ones are blueberry Blue Gold. And this one, I have to reach all the way across. Oh, this is one. Okay. And then blueberry Bonus. So all of these are good in this climate. They're supposed to be really large fruit. So we're gonna hope they work. I don't know if any of them need like a different variety to pollinate with. I have 4 different varieties, so they have options. Hopefully it's options they like if that is the case. Blueberries are something that some of them like to cross-pollinate in order to have a higher yield or a better yield. I'm not overly worried about that. 7 bushes should be plenty. Growing up, we had 4 and a quarter. One was really small, but those ones, that was more than enough for us. So I'm sure 7 will be plenty. And if the girls suddenly decide they don't like blueberries, I'm gonna have a lot of blueberries to eat. But I'm gonna take you along as we get these planted and finishing up making this project. Step 1 is to cut a hole here in the road fabric that we have laid down. We cut an X-shaped hole or a plus sign in the material and then kind of folded those corners back so that water would filter down to the plant from there. If I turn the light on, you can actually see it. So pulled that back. The ground underneath is pretty well dead, which is nice. So hopefully I'm not dealing with too many roots. And then we're able to get the power planter and plant or dig our hole. So here we run the power planter. And really we don't have to go that far down. It's nice to go down, dig a little bit of a deeper hole in the fact that the roots have somewhere to go. But you actually really don't want to go too deep because you'll just create more problems. And the fact that the plant settles and then gets waterlogged and it won't grow from that reason either. Okay, last step is to plant the plant. So I'm going to fill a little bit of dirt back in just because I don't want it to be too far down in the hole. I want the plant to be at soil or slightly above soil level with how much mulch I'm going to put around it. So I'm going to work some dirt back into the hole, work the plant down in, and then I'm also going to make sure I tuck the fabric back away from it so water can penetrate down to the plant. That's going to be important. And then the last step that I'm going to do once I have all the dirt worked around is I'm going to get some soil acidifier. The bag says about 1.25 cups per new planting. So I'm going to work that in at the base or right around the drip line of the plant. Trying to be careful not to touch roots or anything so I don't cause any burn, but right around the drip line. Then I'm going to be able to mulch it, and these wood chips that are here around it, I'm not going to pull those all the way back into the plant because I'm afraid they're too fresh. So what I am going to do is I have some bagged mulch that I'm going to spread right around the base of each plant, so that way they're still mulched, but I'm not worried about any kind of nutrient robbing or burning of the plant. Okay, so the blueberries are all planted in. I'm hiding, hopefully away from the wind. We planted them last night. It was dark. I shot a little bit of the video. The power planter worked. I think I planted them like a little deeper than I wanted, so I did add a lot of the dirt back into the hole. Put the soil acidifier towards kind of like the tops, scratched it in. I watered them in today. It is like so beyond windy. It's like the perfect temperature, but for some reason we always have crazy, like how dirty my hands are. Squirrel. For some reason when it's like 60 to 75 degrees, it's like super windy. It's the perfect temperature to hang out, but it's like a 30 to 40 mile an hour breeze. It's not really 40, but it's a solid 20 to 25. Chase is waking up. We're gonna have to go get Chase, aren't we? But say, so that I have it recorded as to what order I planted them in, so that I can go back and look. I planted, not that one, this one. Planted the Sweetheart variety first. They're a zone 4 to 8. They get 6 by 6, so that's kind of why the row is, I think, like 6 foot. Might be like 6 foot, because I think the roll is 12 foot and we just cut it in half. Or maybe it's 7. Might be 7 foot. So they're 6 foot by 6 foot. I made sure to make them at least 3 foot off of the garden. That way you can still get around them when it's mature size. They have a sweet flavor. They're cold hardy and they're a high fruit yield. I'm hoping they're a good sized berry. They look like it on here, but pictures are deceiving. I know what I've read online. They look like they were a larger sized berry. Then I planted the blueberry blue gold next to that. And I planted the Patriot right in the middle. So like right lined up with the center post. And then I planted the blueberry blue gold on each side. The Patriot is, again, I think that one's like is a 6 by 6 bush as well. They have large berries. It's kind of like the big thing about them is they have really good sized berries. I'm hopeful it's the same one that my parents have at their house. I really think that's what it is. It's either that or it's a Duke, and I don't have a Duke planted, so we'll see. But these blueberry blue golds are also a zone 4 to 7. They're a 4 foot by 3 foot, so they're going to be a little bit smaller, but I'm not sad about that. And then they boast having large fruit and a high yield and easy care. So I hope that they have large fruit like I'm looking for. And then the last one that I planted, so I did the 2 bushes on the other end, are the blueberry bonus. So they are zone 3 to 6, so they're like most likely gonna survive whatever we have, because occasionally we do get down to zone 3 temps. I should be fine on the zone 4, but like they're borderline pushing it. They're 5 by 5. They also say large sweet fruit, high yields, and cold hardy. So fingers crossed they're all a large berry variety like I'm hoping for. I probably should have like talked to someone. But who does that? I know I didn't want any of the little ones. I looked for everything that said large berry because I do like large blueberries. And the girls helped water things in this afternoon, right? Yes. You got a rock. You do. Are you raking the rocks? Nice work. But they're in the ground, so we'll see. Hopefully they get established well and take off great. I mulched them in with the other mulch. Hopefully that helps. I'm going to have to water. My husband has talked about putting a garden hose on the end of our water line there, and that should help. At least like the hose reach, then I don't have to carry a watering can. But I did run the hose up the side of the garden so that I could water them, and I could reach most of them that way. It wasn't too bad. I might have to do that for most of the summer, at least while they get established. I know the one that I bought from Ontario Orchards down in Oswego, that one said to water it daily for, I think, 2 weeks once you plant it, and then back it down to every other day for a week, and then every third day for a week, and then every fourth day till you get down to once a week. And then after that it shouldn't have to, because they were getting water daily there. So I might just follow that schedule for all of them. Because it seems like a good way to transition nursery plants that were getting watered all the time to their new home and get their roots established. Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching our blueberries go in. I'm excited to see how they do. Getting fruit established it feels more permanent, but it's like an exciting kind of permanent. Because that means I'm gonna have fruit, and with each year that they live and produce, it's just more and more and more, and they get better and more established. And I'm sure I'll probably have to replace them at some point, because like trees and bushes have a productive life and then they kind of fade off. But I don't know. Like I said, my parents have had blueberry bushes now for 20 some years. I know the blueberry bushes other people have lasted for, not forever, but a very long time. So maybe I'll get away with not having to. Hopefully I don't have to weed a ton. That's the one thing that scares me about cutting into the plastic. I mean, we had to, but I don't want more to weed with all that I try to keep up with in a day. Okay, I'm going to sign off. I have to go get Chase because he's apparently up from his nap. And then keep track of what these two crazy girls are up to. Okay, I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, you tuck it in.
See it?
I see your Aunt Emmy. Good job, Ray. You tucking it in good?
I did.
You did it?